Hey y'all, welcome to Game 6 of the World Championship match between Gunsberg and Steinitz. In this game, it is black to move. What move should black play? Well, this is an important concept that nowadays is pretty well understood, but back then, not so much. The key here is this bishop on b2. It's going to become, like, let's say we play a castle, which is a pretty normal move. White will respond with c4. The bishop opens up. All of white's pieces have active play. Now you may ask, I can stop that with c4. However, doesn't that give up the d4 square? It's true. It gives up the d4 square. However, it's pretty well known that in such positions, it makes sense to allow white access to d4 in order to shut out this bishop. Usually, the trade-off is good for you, and Steinitz correctly understood that and played c4. And that's not so easy to understand back then, because I don't know how many people understood that. But you see this a lot in the closed Catalan and other types of openings. Usually it's white playing the move c5. But in this case, it's black, and he does shut out this bishop, and I believe this move leads to a bit of an advantage for black. So we're going to go just... Already black is better, and we're going to go for just a few moves. But that's the key to this position. The key to this game is to remember that idea. I'm just going to kind of show you how the game ended real quick, because it is relevant. White has a nice position because this bishop's kind of crappy now. King to f1, rook c to e8, queen to h4, queen to d6, rook to d4, queen to c6, rook on e to d1. Now it is black to move. What should black play? Well, pause your video, try to figure it out. A logical move would be something like h6 or something like that. There's no actual correct move here, but Steinitz unfortunately blundered with bishop to e5, allowing the relatively simple tactic, rook takes d5, because if knight takes, queen check, and checkmate. So just a horrible blunder on Steinitz's part. But the game doesn't get any better. So he brings the bishop back. a4, a6, a5. Now h6 is played. White's up a pawn, but honestly this bishop's still pretty bad, so black is doing fine. Rook to d4, queen to b7, bishop to e5. I don't know what they're doing. This is just weird. These moves are strange. But now black plays a pretty good move in my mind. The queen on h4 actually does not have too many squares. And he plays the move rook e5. Now why is that move strong? Well, black actually has a threat. Let's say white does something like this. Rook h5. Now the queen does have a square. The queen can go to d4. But what can black do now? Black has a cool tactic. Rook takes h3. And if pawn takes h3, queen h1 mate. And after this move, black went like f3. Sorry, he didn't go bishop c1. He went f3. Black took bishop c1. I guess a rook c3, bishop takes h6 or something like that. And black again has a good position. We'll even look over the remainder of the game because we're almost there. But basically, there's three key moments in this game. The first, that positional concept, is the most important one to remember. Then you see Steinitz blundered, and then you see Gunsberg kind of allowed his queen to get pushed around. Knight h5 is strong. Bishop c6. Queen to e5. Knight c2. And now black played an interesting move. Bishop takes f3. And snuck his queen over to h2. And the idea is queen h1 or queen takes h3 type moves, which are virtually winning. Queen h3 followed by bishop h2. White played queen to d7. But after this, black to move and mate in 2, knight to g3. And after this, it's checkmate, although white resigned. So, another interesting game. Steinitz played well in the beginning, blundered a pawn, but managed to come back and win and ties up the match. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.